Coming up on LUTV News, a new investigation will be launched into former National Security Advisor General Michael Flynn.
Plus, President Trump looks to renegotiate the North American Free Trade Agreement.
And President Trump signs an executive order just days away from his 100th day in office.
Those stories plus sports, weather and more ahead on LUTV News. Welcome to this edition of LUTV News. I'm Essie Virtanen.
And I'm Ashley Higginbotham. There's a new investigation underway involving former United States National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. The U.S. Department of Defense's Office of the Inspector General wants to know if Flynn failed to get approval for foreign payments he received. A letter was released by the House Oversight Committee ranking member Elijah Cummings that claims Flynn received payments from entities linked to the Russian and Turkish governments. The Inspector General will investigate whether or not Flynn broke the law, even though he received the funds after retiring from the service.
President Donald Trump's pick for Labor Secretary is one step closer to confirmation. With a 61-39 vote, senators on Wednesday cleared Alexander Acosta's nomination for a final vote later this week.
Business, state, and local taxes are at the forefront of President Trump's tax cut proposal. The plan was unveiled on Wednesday. The one-page document includes cutting taxes for public corporations and partnerships and others from 35% to 15%. Mr. Trump also proposes to double the standard deductions for individuals who do not itemize, provide tax relief for families with children, and simplify tax returns by reducing the number of brackets from 7 to 3. According to Reuters.com, Democrats immediately attacked the plan by saying it is fiscally irresponsible. While President Trump can make plans, only Congress can make major tax changes.
We have a 35% corporate rate on worldwide income and deferral. It is perhaps the most complicated and uncompetitive business rate in the world. Not a surprise that companies leave trillions of dollars offshore.
President Donald Trump and the leaders of Mexico and Canada have agreed to renegotiate the North American Free Trade Agreement, also known as NAFTA. CNN is reporting the phone calls with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto. Mr. Trump agreed not to terminate U.S. role in the free trade deal at this time. The president has been critical of the NAFTA since the presidential campaign. Just last week, he said NAFTA has been very bad for U.S. companies and workers. Today, Mr. Trump explained his reasoning.
And so I decided, rather than terminating NAFTA, which would be a pretty big, shock to the system, we will renegotiate. Now, if I'm unable to make a fair deal, if I'm unable to make a fair deal for the United States, meaning a fair deal for our workers and our companies, I will terminate NAFTA.
As President Trump nears his first 100 days in office, USNews.com says he has had successes and setbacks. The news website says the Senate confirmation of now Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch has been viewed as his top success. The president has also signed more than 40 executive orders. Mr. Trump has vowed that the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, will be repealed and replaced, but that has not yet happened. He has also not been able to get Congress to approve a border wall with Mexico.
The first 100 days, we've taken historic action to eliminate wasteful regulations. They're being eliminated like nobody's ever seen before. There's never been anything like it. Sometimes I look at some of the things I'm signing, I say, maybe people won't like it, but I'm doing the right thing.
Trump will reach his first 100 days in office this Saturday.
There's video of a Delta flight attendant and a passenger arguing after the passenger used the bathroom while the plane was sitting on the runway. That's against Delta rules, and the Wisconsin man was forced off the flight. According to ABC News, the plane was delayed and sitting on the runway when Kim Hamilton said he had to use the bathroom. He returned to his seat and was then asked to leave the plane. The video shows Hamilton asking for more information and saying he hasn't done anything, he paid for the ticket and needs to be home. Hamilton said later that he couldn't wait any longer to use the bathroom. The flight crew made everyone get off the plane and then reboard after the incident.
United Airlines will offer up to $10,000 to customers who give up their seat on an overbooked flight. In addition, United has now passed new regulations regarding the company. The top 4 include passengers who are in their seats cannot be removed from a flight unless there is a safety or security issue. United plans to reduce the amount of overbooking, especially on last flights of the day. The airline will also create a new app for crews to use when handling customer issues. Lastly, United crews will be booked onto flights at least an hour before departure unless there are open seats. The announcement comes a few weeks after a United passenger was dragged off a plane for refusing to give up his seat. Meanwhile, the largest airline in our area, Southwest Airlines, announced Tuesday that it will no longer overbook any flights.
St. Louis area health officials are recommending syphilis screenings for all pregnant women after they found an alarming number of babies were born with the disease last year. According to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, 10 babies were counted last year with a sexually transmitted disease in Missouri. A disease expert at Washington University School of Medicine, Dr. Hillary Reno, said 40% of the babies are stillborn, and other outcomes include blindness and deafness. The screening is recommended to be done in late pregnancy and at delivery.
Straight ahead on LUTV News, a local restaurant is bringing a little Greek flair to the area.
Plus, Leaf formally debuts in St. Louis.
Look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
We now know the identities of the 3 men who were found shot dead in Pine Lawn. According to KMOV-TV, the victims were 29-year-old Andrew Green and Calvin Walker and 23-year-old Marcus Cooper. The shooting happened Wednesday around 10 a.m. in the 4500 block of Rosewood. Chief Tim Swope of the North County Police Cooperative says authorities are looking for a black Nissan Altima and a white old Chevrolet Caprice with a spot lamp on the driver's side. Anyone with any information is asked to contact the police.
The St. Louis County Police Department needs your help. Authorities have released images of a maroon leather duffel bag in the hopes of identifying the remains of a dead infant found inside the bag. The police say 3 fishermen found the bag earlier this month in the pond behind the homes in the Bellman Farms Estate subdivision in North St. Louis. They have not been able to identify the gender or the infant. If anyone knows the brand of the bag, where it was bought, or who may have owned it, police are asking to call 636-529-8210 or Crime Stoppers at 1-866-371-8477.
A new state audit is highly critical of the court system in Ferguson. According to the audit, court records are in disarray and case files were disorganized. The audit concluded that the municipal court had insufficient record controls in place. Missouri State Auditor Nicole Galloway rated the system as poor, adding that courts and city officials were at times combative and uncooperative. The audit also found some documents had been damaged by water and were covered with mold.
An attorney for Casey's General Store in Troy, Missouri says the company will consider all options following a more than $1 million judgment against them. 2 former workers alleged sexual harassment and a judge awarded them $1.5 million. Heather Murray and another employee sued Casey's back in 2014 after they were fired for complaining about being sexually assaulted by a coworker. The lawsuit said the coworker asked for sex and threatened and stalked them. That person was never disciplined.
The ride-sharing service Lyft launched for the first time in St. Louis on Wednesday. Lyft and its competition Uber are now legal throughout the state. A Lyft spokesman says the company's service boosts local economies and cuts down on drunk driving.
Greece has come to the streets of St. Charles. The new Greek restaurant opened its doors earlier this April. Marina Bach is here with the story.
The tasty new restaurant, Miss Gyros, is an all-about Greek restaurant that sells traditional gyros.
Kim is Mrs. Gyros' general manager. He worked to get the restaurant set up prior to the grand opening on April 10th.
We open at 11 every day, but there always has to be a couple people that come in about 8:30 or 9. I normally get here at about 8:30 and I open up and start prepping everything. The meat has to go on, the cones. 2 hours. It takes 2 hours to cook. So it's got to be thrown on by about 9, and then we're ready for lunch rush at 11, which that normally lasts till about 1, between 1 and 2. And then we got a little bit of downtime, which we'll still have people coming in all day like this, but then dinner rush is at about 5 to 7.
Miss Gyro is located on Elm Street. It's the first location. They're wanting to expand, and it's an all-about Greek restaurant.
Armin Tamanyan, he is the owner here, and he's a really good guy. But this is his first restaurant, and I mean, he's real good with the business side of things because he's a business owner and he's a dentist, owns a couple practices. Yeah, he was pretty adamant about wanting to expand, and we will actually probably go ahead with another location soon. I don't want to say exactly when, but soon.
Marcus Roten, a manager, is an expert on what goes into making a perfect gyro.
Traditional Greek meat, beef, and lamb, which is a mixture of beef and lamb put together. Normally what goes on it is tzatziki sauce, cucumbers, tomatoes, onions, and feta cheese with 2 fries in it. Most people, they'll be like, why you put fries in there? I mean, mainly I just tell them it's traditional and it adds a little flavor to it, I mean, 9 out of 10, they'd be like, okay, it's a little weird, but it actually does taste good.
Many local residents, such as Shannon Tyan, are trying out the new restaurant in town for the very first time.
I'm just a local. I passed by here, saw the sign, and thought we'd try it for dinner tonight. We got the traditional gyros and a Greek salad.
Mrs. Gyros is located on Elm Street in St. Charles. To view their menu and upcoming specials, visit their Facebook page at Mrs. Gyros.
As the weather warms, the food trucks come out. Last Tuesday, St. Charles held its first food truck event of the season, and I had a chance to check out the event.
The reason I'm here today is my mom. I was sitting on my patio, and my mom told me that there was something going on here. And I went to culinary school, so I wanted to check this out, see what was going on, enjoy a good spring night, and see the festivities and the food, and just have a good time.
It does great for the business, it's great for the community, it gets people out, the music's great, all the events are great.
Actually, you know what? The food truck I liked best was the cupcake food truck, the one that had the gourmet cupcakes. I think that it's a good time to be able to get out and be with family and friends in an open environment. So much of our time is spent with electronics and Facebook and everything else. That gives us a chance for the community to come together, experience good cooking and good community and friendship, and just have a good time outdoors.
St. Charles will have more food trucks throughout the summer at Frontier Park on June 20th, August 15th, and October 17th. Well, I don't know about you, SC, but watching that again is making me real hungry.
Yeah, and those gyros, oh my god, they look delicious. I'm really hoping that we will get some barbecue weather this week. Adam, what do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. We have lots of rain expected for the upcoming weekend. More after the break.
You could invest in the future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
Please have a seat. I'll be honest. Your resume, it's not what I'm used to.
I know.
Okay, so What would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need a hard worker.
Good. I've got 2 part-time jobs and to help my parents pay the bills.
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find, cultivate, and train a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Taking a look at our current conditions map, we see lots of low pressure in the mountains in the Mountain West and scattered thunderstorms ranging from the upper Midwest into the eastern part of the United States. Across the St. Louis area, we see partly cloudy skies in St. Louis, St. Charles, and Maryland Heights with temperatures near 50 degrees. In West St. Charles County, we see mostly cloudy skies in St. Peters and O'Fallon with temperatures in the high 40s. Taking a look at our 5-day forecast, we are in for a rainy weekend all across the area. Friday and Sunday, we will see temperatures rise in the mid-70s with lots of cloud cover and cooler temperatures to begin next week. Hard rainfall is expected across the area, and we have the potential to see heavy flooding this weekend. Make sure to stay updated for possible road closures in lowland areas. For LUTV News, I'm Adam Zuski.
Do you like playing guitar? Well, Deer Run Library has a guitar club night once a month and it's full of fun tunes. Kyle Ryan has the story.
Deer Run Branch is a library, but there are other attractions it brings.
My name is Tim DeGelder, and I'm the branch manager here at Deer Run Library. And I have been playing the guitar since June of 2011 with my son. And I enjoy playing the guitar because I like to write my own music. And I also like playing with other people as a community event.
Classic hits like the Beatles and Jimmy Buffett are some of the tunes played.
My name's Larry Lancaster, and I've been playing guitar for quite some time, but I put it away for about 40 some years, and then I started after I retired and got back into playing it because I like guitars.
It's an easy way to learn a new song and to show off some songs you like to play. All you need is a guitar.
I'm Mike Bradbury. I've been playing the guitar for about 4 years again. I started when I was a kid and quit for at least 30 years, if not longer. And I play the guitar to relieve stress and beat people.
Here I am at the Deer Run Branch Library. Tonight I got my chance to listen to some good guitar music and play along with friends. If you're ever looking to play guitar or sing along with some good tunes, just come on out to Deer Run Branch Library behind me and just have a good time. For LUTV News, I'm Kyle Ryan.
Deer Run Branch Library is located in O'Fallon, Missouri, and the Guitar Club meets once a month.
Next, in sports, Lindenwood hopeful one of its own will see an early round in the NFL draft. That story and more coming up.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing.
I was very independent, thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels, coming to my door as someone who's housebound, having someone check on me, assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're are the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
The St. Louis Blues dropped Game 1 against the Nashville Predators 4-3 last night. Vernon Fiddler had the game winner late in the third period to silence the crowd at Scott Trade Center. Jaden Swartz had 2 goals for the Blues in the loss. The Blues will look to bounce back on Friday night. The puck will drop at 7 o'clock. The St. Louis Cardinals are set to play 2 games today as part of a day-night doubleheader at Busch Stadium. Games 2 and 3 will be played against the Toronto Blue Jays. Game 2, which was scheduled for yesterday, was rained out. The Cardinals are looking to bounce back from extra innings loss on Monday night. Game 1 is currently underway, and first pitch for Game 2 starts at 6:15. ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports television, is laying off an estimated 100 employees. Among the big names exiting the company are former athletes turned reporters Trent Dilfer and Lynn Elmore. ESPN said the move is designed to move the sports network toward a more digital future. The 81st Annual National Football League Draft is set to take place tonight. The Cleveland Browns are coming off a 1-15 season and have the first pick. One local draft connection comes with former Lindenwood football linebacker Connor Harris. Harris declared for the draft after his senior season was over. The NFL draft starts at 7 o'clock, and you can follow the coverage on ESPN. Last night, Lindenwood athletes gathered at the Jay Scheidegger Center for a special event, and I had the privilege of getting dressed up and joining the fun.
Lindenwood athletes left their jerseys at the door as they dressed to impress at the annual Roar Awards.
We're at the Roar Awards, which is the NCAA's ceremony banquet that we have every year. We started off the night by having the academic awards for people who made a selective GPA, and now we have the Roars, which honors all of the athletes for multiple achievements that they've had throughout the year, both on and off the field.
Student Athlete Activities Committee President Bree Zanders says compiling the nominations is a year-long process.
Then we make up the categories and we send them out to the student athletes, and they get to pick, who is what and who goes where. And then from there we kind of get our top 6, and then we send it out again. The student athletes all vote, or not vote, but their teams vote. And then from that we get a top 3, and then a winner.
Men's volleyball freshman Sam Schindler was one of the select athletes nominated for an award this year.
I think the Roars is pretty good. It's a really good confidence booster because it lets you know you're doing all right in school and athletics, and people don't really say that unless it was a ceremony like this.
The academic reception was a new addition to the event, honoring athletes who achieved a 3.75 GPA.
I'm on the women's volleyball team, and we were actually awarded with the second highest GPA for the women's athletic teams here at Lindenwood. And we actually got a 3.76, which is super awesome because we have a lot of girls on our team, obviously, meaning we all did really well this past fall semester and the previous spring semester.
The Roars also included a surprise wish grant for a young girl with sickle cell anemia.
For me, my favorite part of the Roars this year was definitely the wish reveal with Carissa. That was a lot of fun, and getting all the student athletes involved with the balloons and the beach balls, and throwing them around, and granting her wish of going on a Disney cruise. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I definitely think that this year the crowd, the students were great and very supportive, and just so excited to be there. So I'm happy that went well.
Overall, Wheeler was proud of all the hard work that went into making this night so special.
I guess I'm excited with what we came up with this year. It was a really good, successful night, and I'm really excited to keep improving it, figure out what we can do better, what we don't need, what we do need more of, and I'm just really happy to be part of SAC.
Right. And the Roars was a great turnout this year, and I hope that continues to, build and get better and better. But this is by far has been the funnest Roars I've ever been a part of.
For LUTV News, I'm Ivy Reynolds.
Notable winners from last night included gymnastics winning Team of the Year, men's lacrosse named Coaching Staff of the Year, while Connor Harris and Morgan Judd were named Male and Female Athletes of the Year. For LUTV News, I'm Ivy Reynolds.
Gazprom, a partner of FIFA, has been putting on a special event for kids all around the world. Since 2013, the Football for Friendship International Soccer Program has brought together kids from every corner of the globe. This year, we were lucky enough to have a couple local St. Louis residents representing us. Toyota Stadium in Fenton played host to Gazprom's Football for Friendship major announcement. World Cup and MLS announcer Bill McDermott hosted the event. Vice President of St. Louis Scott Gallagher Steve Petcher and St. Louis FC player Ivan Majkovic also joined the event. Former U.S. women's national team captain and Olympic gold medalist Lori Kolepany spoke passionately about the program.
You know, I think one of the coolest things is that while there's so many differences, there's so many things that make us different. You know, we don't even speak the same language. There's just a lot of differences. What they'll realize is that we're not really that different. That they're all kids. They all want the same things, and they all have a passion for soccer.
Lauren Sowers will be the United States ambassador in Russia for the event.
And I'm going to be doing training for a couple of days, and then I'm going to go to the championship, and then after I'm going to go to the Confederate Cup. I'm excited about meeting new people and playing soccer with them, learning about their culture and language, so that'll be fun. And I'm excited to go with Emily and spend a lot of memories with her, and it'll be fun.
Emily Kerber will be Lauren's journalist and draws inspiration from her father, Blues radio play-by-play announcer Chris Kerber.
When I got old enough to learn what my dad's job was and stuff, I looked into it a little more, and I noticed that it wasn't just hockey that did all the broadcasting and stuff. There was soccer and baseball, and I love a lot of sports, but I kind of just got into it because of my dad.
The girls handed out green and blue friendship bracelets after the event. Lauren and Emily will make their way to St. Petersburg to participate with 63 other pairs from around the world. Now, the little bracelets that the organization gives out have a blue and green. The blue represents the peaceful sky, and the green represents the football field, accessible to everyone. These girls should have such a unique experience at the event and will not only be representing the United States, but also all of us here locally in the St. Louis area. For LUTV News, I'm Hank Likes.
That's it for this edition of LUTV News. I'm Ashley Higginbotham.
And I'm Essie Vertanen. Thanks for joining us.